The Sim Spotlight is brought to you by Balance of Nature, Whole Food Supplements. Visit balanceofnature.com. Here he is every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Boomer's best friend and a man that I'm trying to become a friend of, but it just never seems to work out. Phil Simms, two-time Super Bowl champion. Phil Simms, what's up, Phil?
Hey, what's up? Well, can we stop the damn music, Al? Come on.
It's more Eddie than Al, just so you know.
Oh, is it Eddie?
Scazzeri.
Oh, okay. Eddie,
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah.
I like them both. Hey, Al was all over the Jets scenario this morning. I listened to that little clip of him, and hey, whatever the fans want, Woody gave it to them. But they want more, and they want success. I understand. But listen, Gio, you're looking good, man. You're taking your Balance of Nature.
I just took it. I am not kidding. In the break, I always remember to take it when you're coming on because Al puts the read in front of me and says Balance of Nature Natural Whole Food Supplements. I just took it because I wanted to be happy, and I wanted to say I'd do it. So I did it.
Yeah, you do it all right. Well, that's good. Good for you. We got to get Boomer taking it. Boomer, it will make you look better. And I know you think there's no way you can look better because you're like Mary Poppins. You're practically perfect in every single way, but it does help. So,
hey, Phil, I do take it, and I get you've been sending me my Balance of Nature powder and also the vitamins, so I appreciate it. So, but listen.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so
okay.
we're
I see. I send you. Wait,
yeah.
I send you things to get better and feel better and all that, and you send me liquor.
Exactly.
So
well, listen, that helps you feel better too. I understand it.
But I don't drink, so that's a different thing.
But, I also play ice hockey. You don't do anything but lift weights, and I see the commercial. It's all over the place. Holy God. I'm getting sick of you.
Does it really good? I'm glad. If it annoys you, that really makes my day.
All right. So speaking of,
all right, what we got? What have we got?
Let's talk about the whole Joe Douglas thing. I mean, I don't think anybody was really surprised. I mean, I felt like he was a lame duck GM. Great guy, knows his stuff, but unfortunately, Woody had enough. And I think it's probably for Joe, it's probably a good thing he gets on and he can latch on with another team pretty quickly.
Right.
Where do the Jets go from here?
Well, it's truly what you think. First off, Joe Douglas and drafting is we always talk about the quarterback, but overall he did do a pretty good job picking a lot of players that have been stable and shown some life and have high potential for the team. But he's going to go. The Jets are in a complete start over again. Here you go, coach, general manager, quarterback. They're going to have to do all three of those things during the off season. So, let the speculation begin. Who's it going to be and all that stuff? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get into position to get the quarterback you probably want, which it always is, unless you're the first pick of the draft.
What do you think Aaron Rodgers' response to all this is going to be?
Well, I don't know what it really. I don't know and don't have a great feel for it, Boomer and Gio. I don't. Is the fact that does he really want to come back and play now? There's the chance that I saw him limping off the field a little bit last week. It's been a terrible year. He's been hit, beat up a little, not playing the way he wants. And what organization is going to say, let's go in there and just turn it over to the quarterback once again? With his age, his performance of this year, I just can't imagine it. So I would think his Hall of Fame career, it's cemented. And you got to be happy with that.
How much is this negative Woody Johnson press from the Athletic article we were talking about, Bill Belichick slamming him on a weekly basis? How much is that going to affect the Jets' search in getting the guy that they want to be the GM or the head coach?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know if it will hurt. Of course, we all know that there's so many coaches in NFL that want a chance to be head coaches. And I would think this. If you're out there, whoever you are, and you look at the Jets, you just go, this is not a complete start over with the whole football team. There's enough talent there to just go, okay, we can fix it up a little, give them a better plan on offense and defense, motivate them a little more, whatever you want to say, where I think it's not like some teams we've seen in the past where it's just a complete overhaul. I don't see that with the Jets roster and a lot of the starters they got. We're
talking to Phil Simms. Phil, we'll get to the Giants in a second. I mean, I just wonder, and Gio and I feel this way, that the Jets need a big personality as a head coach. Their success was driven by Rex Ryan and Bill Parcells. When those guys came in here, they were such big personalities. They were able to handle the media. They were the story as opposed to maybe some of the players were. Maybe the players could have hid behind those guys. We're just wondering, do you think that, and we have a guy in mind, and his name is John Gruden. Do you think that would go over well here in New York?
Well, I know this. If John Gruden was brought in, we know what he's going to do on the offensive side. At least I feel like I do, and I think you know Boomer and Gio. It's going to be what he's kind of done in his whole career. He wants a really smart quarterback who can get in the right play at all times and things like that. But what he would bring is he will bring definitely a personality and toughness. I mean, he is a tough guy. He practices hard. He expects a lot from the players. I think the players overall always have a great feeling about him. And, we hear this word culture all the time in the NFL. Well, he definitely brings a different vibe to a football team. And it's everything that you want. And, you need that. The head coach, and like I've said to you guys, and I won't repeat it, but, you got to, when he walks in the room, you got to know there's the man. And it's maybe it excites you or makes you a little nervous, whatever it is, there's got to be something special there that the head coach has that permeates through the team to make them practice better, play better, and think better themselves to win more games. So John Gruden definitely fits a lot of those areas when you talk about it.
All right, Boomer and Gio with Phil Simms in the Simms Spotlight, 8 a.m. on Wednesdays. So we finally heard it. We saw Tommy DeVito being named the starting quarterback and Daniel Jones being benched. So we've talked a lot about Tommy, and we've talked about him working out before the games, and you've been impressed by that. So what do you think of the move?
Well, I'm not surprised, of course. I knew they were going to probably change quarterbacks after the Germany trip. I think everybody thought that, knew that. They did it. A little bit of a surprise that it's Tommy DeVito, but not a big one. I think, Boomer, you've talked about it. Gio, you listened to it, that, Brian Daboll just always says, I want some energy from my quarterback. And that means outward energy, practice, meetings, whatever it is. You got to kind of be that guy. And Tommy DeVito is that. And I think, too, there's no doubt the fact that what he did last year, the fans so much behind him that there's going to be a really positive reaction to him running on the field. And like I said, he shows his personality on the field, the way he plays. I think the players like him. And, and Daniel Jones, I heard you talk about it this morning. Why did they stick with him so long? Because the coaches always remember, no matter when that game is, they want to win, wherever the season is. So they thought Daniel Jones gave them the best chance to win. That's why they stuck with him for 10 games. So, let me say this. Bill Parcells, I'm not sure his last year with the Jets. I might be wrong, but I think they were 1-7 at one time, and they finished 8-8. And I said to him, Coach, you were literally killing yourself. I watched you, and you were just adamant about every game and the way you coach on the sidelines. And he goes, Simms, that record, they put it on your tombstone, so every game's important. And it really is true. And I just remember that. And I think, Brian Daboll and them look at this football team and everything about it, and they got Tommy DeVito because he probably gives them the best chance to win right now.
Yeah, and it seems to have been met with some negative reaction from the locker room. Dexter Lawrence talking about it, and there's some unnamed Giants who are talking to reporters saying that they think it's about the money and the injury guarantee. Do you think that's going to be a problem in the Giants locker room?
Overall, I don't think so. There's always a group of players that are going to be a little disgruntled, and as you're 2-8. There's guys that are going to say certain things to reporters, of course, off the record. Not Dexter Lawrence. He was open about it. I appreciate that. But, it's going to be a little bit of a problem as they talk to each other. But when you practice, the game starts and all that, it goes back to where it should be. Let's try to find a way to win the game.
Yeah, you talk about a lot of personalities, a lot of guys that are friends with each other. Nobody likes to be, the guy that is the odd man out or the guy that is singled out. And that, in this case, it is going to be Daniel Jones just simply because the money he makes in the quarterback position is just that for every single team. And speaking of that, I just want to get your take nationally on what you saw from Josh Allen versus that Chief defense up in Buffalo.
Well, it was very impressive. I honestly, I was a little surprised. Buffalo not surprised, but I thought maybe Kansas City would find a way to beat Buffalo up there. but Buffalo physically, I think overall out-hit Kansas City in the game. And, of course, Josh Allen, everybody dreams of having a quarterback like that for their franchise. Dynamic throws down the field, just one after another, almost every single game. There's like 5 or 6 of them. You go, well, that's different. And, of course, I watched him early in the year when he was running. I thought, man, he doesn't look as fast as he has in the past. And then these last couple games, especially against Kansas City, I said, nope, he's as fast as ever. And that last run showed it, just the speed he has and how he can eat up the yards and everything like as I'm watching it now on TV. And I like it right here. Oh, just fall off of him because you've met Josh Allen in person, right, Boomer, many times?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you always when I meet him, I just go, damn, you're big.
Well, he's like Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence is the same size, and so is, by the way, Anthony Richardson for the Colts.
Oh, well, that's another story, too. He wasn't good this past week. He was friggin' terrific. I mean, wow. Decision-making, dynamic. I mean, man, he made some throws down the field. He makes them look easy because his arm is ridiculously strong. He's the guy they can't hit the 5-yard out because he just doesn't know how to take something off of it. But the 30-yard throw down the field, yeah, he just throws it like it's a screen pass. Really impressed with how he played. And the benching, to think it didn't help who he was, you're crazy. It made him reevaluate what he was doing, how he was thinking about the game, how he's got to play it. And he showed all those things in that game against the Jets, and unfortunately the Jets lost.
Yeah. Do you think Jaden Daniels has hit a little bit of a rookie wall the last couple of weeks?
Well, yeah, because he's beat up. He got beat up a little bit, and, that's something all NFL quarterbacks during the season, you're going to have these injuries, and you just got to fight through them. So I doubt if I remember, I don't think he's really ever been hurt in all the years in college. So this is something new to deal with. And, Gio, what really gets you as a rookie is just the mental part of it. It just, wow, it wears you out because every Monday you go, we're starting all over. Here we go. And it really gets tough. And I don't know how if it was for you, Boomer, your rookie year, but we had 3 games to go my rookie year. And I swear I just remember thinking, I don't care if we win or lose. I want to go home. It was because of it really was just a mental part of the job that wears you out.
Yeah, just get me the. I was like,
some of that.
I was like, get me the hell out of here. I went to Acapulco and stayed at the pink beaches down there and was drinking Mai Tais for about 3 weeks. Hey, I was gonna ask you about Ben Johnson, the offense coordinator for the Lions.
Right.
Obviously he's going to have his job that he'll pick. I think every owner is going to want him. That's going to be looking for a new coach. Their offense has been unbelievable in Detroit. It's been fantastic. They got great players, great offensive line. He and Jared Goff are in total sync with one another. All right, you're Ben Johnson. Woody Johnson gives you a call. What are you telling him?
I'm not really sure he would say, oh, I got to get that job. That's the one to get. First off, with Ben Johnson, he's having it's terrific what they do in Detroit. It's the best. But he has a head coach, and he has a general manager who is not hitting. He's hitting on everything when they draft. And they got a special team around there for him to coach and design plays for with the Detroit Lions. And so I know he was offered jobs last year and big money, and he just turned it down. So is he the personality to come into New York? I think that's one thing I would worry about a little. And, of course, the talent is not as good as it is in Detroit. Would we see the same product? We might, but it would probably take a couple years, I think, at least 1 or 2 to give him a chance to get the players he wants and to execute the offense that he's going to design for whoever the quarterback is. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I know he's going to have a lot of offers, and usually when you're offered to be a head coach in the NFL, the team is not that good, so he'll have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to get within 500 miles of Florham Park. I mean, if this is a guy who's
you're right.
They're turning down jobs last year, you think that he's going to be enticed by the Jets job? So I wanted to – have you done any more work on Shedeur Sanders and watched his film at all?
A little bit, yeah. I've seen him so much on TV. I was going to say I watched Carson Beck. I don't know if you watched Tennessee and Georgia play this past weekend. Oh, I mean, wow. It was NFL football. So many good players, and they were just what's the word? They were just absolutely killing each other. It was so physical, but Carson Beck was magnificent in the game. And I liked him coming into the year, but it's been a bad year. But that game, as I watched it, and then I watched it again, I just wanted to study him just because I know we're going to be talking about quarterbacks here soon. It was really impressive. The arm is big time. It's top flight NFL. Throws the ball beautifully. And what he did, he showed personality, toughness. He ran the ball. He can move around pretty dang good. But everything you want to see out of a quarterback, I saw it this past week against Tennessee, and I haven't seen that this year until then. So I don't know what it was. That would put a little bit of an alarm up to me because he didn't perform the way we thought he would early in the year. But the game against Tennessee was great. That's for sure.
He's just got to get drafted by the right coaching staff, the right way of doing things. I think with the way that they handled Drake May in New England was the right thing. One other question for you before we let you go, and this is, and I know that you and I texted about this after we hung up last week, and that was my thought that Cliff Kingsbury could be the next head coach in Chicago if that thing still goes by the wayside.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad pick, that's for sure. I understand why you would say it, what he's done for Jaden Daniels, and I think it's been really, really good. And Caleb Williams, they were together at USC. So, yes. But I would just go back to this. If you watch Caleb Williams this past week again, the firing of the offensive coordinator, he played differently. He played like you'd want to see it. Threw the ball great, moved around. Basically, I would say almost every single play made the right decision with the throw, where to throw it, how to do it. I thought he was really impressive in the game against Green Bay. So, Cliff Kingsbury, that would be an interesting choice. And second time around, I kind of like that with coaches. Second time around, they correct the mistakes they made in the first stop, and they get better the second time around. So that wouldn't be a bad choice, at least. If the Chicago Bears make that decision, it would not be a bad choice.
If NFL, go ahead.
Gio, let me just say this before I go. Did you see the outtakes or the whatever with Michael Irvin with Colin Cowherd yesterday?
We played some of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. With Michael laughing and goes, "Hey, I got some good sources on this."
About the Cowboys job and Shador going there. Yep.
And I really have thought this for quite a while. That Dion and Shador, whatever, and I guess I thought Jerry Jones is not going to sign Dak Prescott to this humongous, contract, and because maybe he can move it and save money by getting another quarterback, things like that. And it was the first thing I thought of was Deion Sanders and Shador going to Dallas.
No, Deion Sanders and Shador are going to Las Vegas. Especially if Shador is working out with Tom Brady, has been reported.
Well, yeah, Tom Brady, I know before the season started or whatever during the offseason did work with him a little bit. And look, if you can imitate that throwing motion, good for you because it was pure. It was a great golf swing. That's why Tom Brady could throw the ball with just about as much speed at the end of his career, probably more speed on the football and accuracy than he had early in his career. Because he just perfected what he was trying to do, and we saw it week in and week out. And as Bruce Arians said, I've never been around a quarterback that likes to throw more than Tom Brady. And what he means, he just throws all day, all the time. And, we'll see how it works out. But it's going to be interesting.
If NFL Today producer Drew Kaliski had asked you to jump through a table in Buffalo, what would your response have been?
I would think for about half a second, say, there's just no way. There's no way. I'm not putting my big ass up in the air and landing on some little table.
Were you worried about Coach Cowher at all? I mean, he was not a graceful jumper through a table. I mean, it looked like he hurt his neck.
Well, yeah, it was. Listen, that was close. I mean, we laugh about it. Thank God he didn't get hurt. But just to run up to the table, I was like, whoa.
You know what, Phil? They wouldn't ask us to do that. There's no way they would have asked us to do that.
Well, Boomer, if you'd have jumped on that table, that thing would have splintered and hit the crowd. So I don't know what to say.
All right. Well, you have a great day, my friend.
Yeah, see you, Phil.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Later.
All right, the great Phil Simms. The Simms Spotlight brought to you by Balance of Nature, Whole Food Supplements. Visit balanceofnature.com. It's Boomer and Gio coming to you live from the Bill Ford Tough Studio.
You know, I would have been laughing my ass off watching him do that.
Oh, so would America. I mean, come on.